Here we go again. Download links in the description as normal. So today we'll be going over messing with the actual missions themselves, which will correspond to how the event actually works. When it comes to camera angles, wing conditions, and just some other miscellaneous stuff like timers showing up. So first example we'll go over is the present fight in Halloween Town. Now this takes place under NM00. So we'll open up the spawn point stuff again, we'll open up, the scripts. Looking through the boss warp elaborate.txt file, like I mentioned before, will allow us to figure out which one corresponds to the present fight. So let's go ahead and do that. Halloween Town Square is NM00. So let's see. Yep. Okay, so 3C will be the one for collecting the 4 presents back. So if we scroll through the BTL script here, we eventually come across program 0x3C, which has, progress flag, the party, and then the actual mission ID here, which is very important, along with the group that it actually spawns in. First thing we'll want to do to change this up is we want to change the actual mission win condition to just be something generic, like, defeating all the enemies and stuff. So because of this, we're going to need to grab from an extracted KH2FM the mission JP folder, and we can see here the mission is NM00 MS202. So we're going to find that in this list, and we'll go ahead and copy it now. Then we'll want to, in our dynamic loader folder, go ahead and go to the VFS, the MSN folder, JP, yada yada. And then we're going to, we'll paste that in there because we're going to be changing this up. Now with the bar editor, we'll go ahead and open this up. And you're going to see a lot of stuff in here. Not exactly easy to identify everything with just the bar editor, So we can also open this up in XPack1H or the Map Explorer or whatever the hell people want to call this thing. And you'll see a few files here now, and if we preview this 03, for instance, we can see, you know, okay, this is the AI code, and then 1A here has mission start. So this is the camera angle that'll happen at the beginning of the fight, because pretty much all these events have some sort of, you know, camera angle they want to work with. If we go to REM here, and we'll see this is also a camera angle. Since this one's kind of labeled strangely, MG01, but we can assume that because this is the mission start, that this is probably the mission end. Basically, when you win, it does that slow little camera angle. 18 and 19 here. 18s will always... I didn't even know there's an unused failed message there. Anyways, these will correspond images that'll just kind of appear on the screen. You know, you can think of when you win this event normally, it'll show clear at the top, or under World Cups, you can see like the round number appear in like this big blue font. So things like that. And then 19 is an SCQD file, which just corresponds to where everything kind of goes and is displayed. That's a separate tutorial, honestly, but for now we're gonna focus on the other stuff. A lot of events have this mission 12 packs. I assume this is the information bar. I haven't really like extracted this and actually looked into it, so, but it hasn't been important for me. So, and then here you can see another image that has which has these numbers and the present value and the meter and stuff like that the game will arrange for itself thanks to the SCQD file that follows it. So our goal for now is to turn this into a generic defeat all enemies event. We're going to sample from another event, so if we open up a second instance of Map Studio, we can try to find an event that also just corresponds to defeating a bunch of enemies. Off the top of my head, we can just go with, scroll to the top here, we can go with the Land of Dragons Cave Heartless fight. Or if we want like a dramatic camera angle. Well, actually no, we can sample from multiple stuff, so I'll go ahead and show that as an example. So first off, Village Cave 05. So the prefix for Land of Dragons is MU, so that'll be MU05 here. So we'll go ahead and open up, you know, all this stuff again. So we're searching for the actual carless wave. Okay, it's 48. So in the BTL script, we look for 48. And here it says MU05_MS105. Alrighty. Good for us. Now we can use this. So we're gonna go to MU05, MS105. We're going to copy that for now. We're gonna just put it in here so it's easier to find. Then we're gonna take the bar editor here. We're gonna open up in this. Now we can also open up in second instance of the XPack map viewer, whatever. So if we select 1A here, okay, this is the camera start angle, which is pretty much the same as the let's see, the Halloween Town Presence fight. What we're really concerned with here is this AI file, which says mission dead all. In other words, if all the enemies are dead, you win. So because of that, we can now extract this 0x03 file. We'll extract it to our MSN thing. Make sure it exports as a .ai file. So we'll do that, and we can label these for. We can just label these so it's easier to keep track, because you know you can reuse this stuff as much as you want, really. So, first order of business, in the present ARD thing, we're going to replace, we'll replace the Xeeynamo file with the defeat all the enemies thing. Then we're gonna save that, and we'll save over the bar, because, you know, we can just do that. So, instead of doing all this at once, I'll go, like, on individual things so you can kind of see the effects of stuff. First will be the AI we've changed. So you'll see, you know, the presents still have an icon that shows up. Just gotta get rid of these dudes. You'll see the presents still drop on the floor, for instance. But, you know, now when I collect them, it's not actually, you know, recognizing that. Comboed by the stage, my man. So you'll see now, the clear message shows up, and that's the end of it, because that's just kinda what's originally in the event. Now, because of this, and because of our changes, it ended when we killed all of them instead. So, if we go back to our map viewer here, we can kind of see, well, okay, you know, there's no reason for the present 18 and 19. You can keep in the clear if you want, I guess. Realistically, you might be able to even add into other events too, if you want a little bit of visual flair. But we can go ahead and get rid of the last 18 and 19 because that's just taking up unnecessary space. And then we'll go ahead and save that. Save over the bar again. Feel free to make backups during the process if you want, if you're nervous about it. That's technically the correct thing to do anyways. I'm feeling confident today, I guess. So now you can see there's no present stuff showing up on the side. So we got that out, but you can still see, you know, the presents are still dropping. We can pick them up. I collected 4 of them and event didn't end. I almost died there, but I didn't because I'm actually the best player of this mod. I know, soak in all the greatness. Alright, so once again we get our nice little clear message and it's done. Great. So, next thing to go over, I guess, will be changing the camera angles. So as I mentioned before, there's a mission start angle, and there's a mission end angle, which is, you know, labeled like this for whatever reason. So let's go with a different camera angle. Again, off the top of my head, in the Imperial Square, there's a slightly more dramatic camera angle, kind of panning upwards with the second visit of the Heartless Waves. Second visit Heartless Waves in the Imperial Square, so that's 08. So once again, we'll go to MU08. We're gonna look for the program Xeddgx51, and oh look, it's right there for us. Nice. So that's MU08 MS202. So once again, back to the extracted version of our game. We'll go to the mission folder once again, and we're gonna find MU08 MS202. And we're gonna open that in our second instance of the bar editor here. And just to double check, because you know, sometimes things can be in a different order between files, but if we select 2A here, you can see, okay, this is mission start. So this is the one we want. So we'll go ahead and extract that. We can just label it like brackets start. You'll do this for either start or end cameras, and you can just be like dramatic. I don't know. Whatever's gonna help you remember it is what you should name things, obviously. So now we're gonna replace our 1A here, which was the mission start in our event. We'll replace it with that dramatic one. You don't have to worry about changing the label there. We're gonna save over it again, and we'll go ahead and launch into this event once again. So you'll see the camera angle's kind of messed up there. How unfortunate. But we can fix that because pretty much all the camera angles in this game, well, when it comes to like the start of missions and the endings, they're all focused primarily on the player. So we can go ahead and we'll go into the B99 script here. We'll find the spawn groups for Sora, Dawn, and Goofy. Yeah, okay, so this is the player one. So the very easy fix to this is we can just we can move them back a little because it looks like the camera just kind of clipping through the stage. And if we move them back, this shouldn't be much of an issue since there's a slight upward slope here. So I'll move my camera position like right around here. Then we'll do, let's see, it's 790, 649, 1229. Okay, so now we're gonna put a negative value on pretty much all of these to match where the camera actually is. Because the camera, for whatever reason, you just have to completely invert where the position is for it to correspond to where it's actually showing. Don't really know the logic behind it, but you know, I'm just the modern man guy. Alright, so we'll rotate them. For this, let's go ahead and put them all the way back here. Let's try this one. Maybe it'll look good, maybe it won't. We have no way of knowing until we try. It's all about trial and error for some of these things. Well, that one's better. Could probably just pull her away from the wall, but anyways, you get the idea. Just experiment around with it until you get a camera position that you want. And, yeah. So then, for the next thing, we'll go over, like, the ending camera position. So, as you may have noticed, there isn't exactly an ending camera position for this fight. It seems to just kind of sit on the player. But we can change that. For this, we can just grab the ending camera for like the typical mob fight ending, which the Imperial Square one does have. That's the bar file that I'm grabbing from currently. So we'll just do that, mob fight. There we go. And since Xeeynamo is the mission end, we'll go ahead and replace that. And we will replace it with the ending. And we'll save that. So this is going to be the camera position that'll occur once we defeat all the enemies, because that's the goal. That's the win condition we set up for this event now. Yeehaw, brother. So the camera angle kind of is just iffy on this, I guess, because normally how the event ends is that it does focus on the player. Or rather, it doesn't really move the camera around. And you'll notice the clear didn't show up there as well, so it's up to your discretion how you want the ending camera to look. It probably looks better on what it was before. So if you wanted, this would be a case of, if you made a backup, you just grab it, you just go back to that, or you just take from the original mission file, extract REM016, and then put it back in your modified one. Okay, moving on. Well, since the clear doesn't show up there either, we can go ahead and just, we could delete the Xeddgx18 and the Xeddgx19 from this file as well if we wanted, which I'm going to go ahead and do because I don't really care if the camera screws up there in the context of a tutorial. Anyways, so next up is the text. So Xeddgx02 files, they correspond to the text, which, this map preview whatever thing will complain about errors if you, select it on the side here, but that's fine. Is this going to be what hex editor is for later on? But for now, we're going to go over some stuff. So pretty much every mission in this game has a unique information prompt. Well, not all things have like an information prompt, but most have like a unique pause prompt. So if you see like right here, it says retrieve the presence. And then we need to wait for the event to start. Okay, so now it says defeat all of the Heartless and retrieve the presence. Whoop-de-doo. So there's a website you're gonna need to go to. It's this Crazy Cat's KH text editor. A link to that will be in the description as well. Now, for these, you're going to want to use the English bars for that grabbed from like Crazy Cat 00's English patch. I will include a download to all of the original English files that he utilizes as well. So we drag this in. nm.bar stands for, I assume, nightmare, because Nightmare Before Christmas. And you'll want to make sure that the thing here selects text instead of hex, because this is unreadable. So anyways, text, and then you want to make sure it's KH2 File Mix English System. And then so first off, our information prompt is just retrieve the presence. So if we hold Control and press F, we can just search retrieve the presence. So this is the text ID that is normally called in the event. So we could just change this to put all these mummies in their place, dude, bro. And then we can have something separate for the pause prompt, which is just like, put all these mummies in their place. Then we can like, just say like, dude, bro. The like, I forget what kind of brackets these are called, so whatever, but those brackets with the I can't tell if that's an I, like a capital I or lowercase l. I'm just gonna assume this is like next line or something. Anyways, but like what it actually does is it causes a line break. So in other words, like after this and in the original text string, there's that if there, and then the text continues back down. So we can mimic that. And then we can just put more stuff there, like watch out for sturdy attacks. I don't know. Look out for pointless presence. And there's actually color coding you can do with this stuff too. It is worth noting there is an open KH text editor, however, it is far less good at exporting stuff just because the file size is substantially higher and there is a limit to how large these files can be, whereas Crazy Cat 00's text editor actually has some tricks for compression to where you realistically shouldn't run into that issue at all. So anyways, but yeah, the OpenKH one is good for like previewing what all these commands do. Like, this is basically 0x04, 0x0a is like setting your text color to red, or I guess in some worlds light blue. Like, it's basically like a world thing, and then 0x03 is like in that script there. So we can set up some red text here and just, you know, I don't know, put in quotation marks like this event is pointless, whatever. More quotation marks, and then you'll see the save section, and then we can save the file, and it'll go to our lovely downloads folder here, and we can go ahead and in the dynamic loader, the VFS folder, you need to make an MSG folder, JP, and then you can have like nm.bar here. So we'll go ahead and drag this in, and we'll go ahead and load the save state. Now, when you're changing a world bar, you actually do have to go back to the world map and then re-enter the world, because if you don't, then some problems may occur, because this game isn't really meant to like reload things on the spot like that when it comes to the message files. So we'll go ahead and exit the world, and then we'll re-enter it, and then we'll go back to the Halloween town square, and you should see in the dynamic loader here like, oh, it's loaded nm.bar. Always remember, if something doesn't look like it's loading in properly, check to make sure that highlight text indicates that it's actually loading in. And if it's not, maybe you messed up the file path, maybe you put it in the wrong location, yada yada. So we will go ahead and go back in here. We'll make a save state again. Now it's done loading. We'll skip the scene. Now you'll see the text has changed there. And on the pause menu, we get that too. So, you know, there we go. That is one way to change the text strings. However, there are some events where if you change it, or rather, there are some events that actually reuse the same text string. So that can be a problem when you're actually trying to edit stuff. So let's say you want to change that, all right? Well, first of all, we need to go ahead and extract the 0x02 file, and we're going to actually extract it from the mission file that we're modifying. So we'll just extract that. That can go in your mission folder again. Let's go back there. So this is where a text editor comes into play. So first off, for your 0x02 file, you're going to want to open this in a hex editor. In my case, I use HXD. So we'll go ahead and open it with that. Now, there are two noteworthy lines here. On 06 and 07 here, this corresponds to the start message. And the reason we can tell this is just, it's kind of difficult to show in like a hex editor preview, but basically, you know, things that start with like, you know, 1F or 2 or like BB, just basically these really odd numbers here, and then like something to end it with. These are actually the text strings that are called from the bar thing. So if we were to change this one, for instance, to like B3 and then B4, we could save that, repack it in, and we'll replace it. Alternatively, you can just edit the mission bar itself with a hex editor if you really wanted to. Like, we could just open this in HXD as well, and then you'll see them here again, like B1, 1F, B2, 1F, stuff like that. It's up to you how you want to edit it. This is actually probably faster. I'm just kind of trying to break down the files individually, but yeah, so anyways, okay, I don't know why it's complaining. Anyways, so we'll go ahead and replace our file with the strings, the change text string version of it. We'll save it here. So now you'll see the text string is changed, and now it's using the one from the event that basically comes immediately after this, you know, the one where you shoot the presents. Now, there is a way to, like, check, well, I guess not really check, but, like, to kind of narrow down where the text strings are, like, which ones correspond to which, I guess. Basically, if you're needing to replace something, and you don't want to, like, actually, you know, flat out replace something that's relevant, then what I find that's useful is you can replace cutscene text strings, because they're also included into the file. So let's go to our message folder real quick, and we'll open this nm.bar in PS2 this, and we'll do Shift+3, and if we do 16-bit and then type in what we saw before, let me actually, let me get to the mission string thing again. Okay, so, like, we're at 1FB3, 1FB4, like, you kind of have to read this backwards. So in PS2 this, we would do, like, 1FB4, and it would take us here, and then it has, like, some other, you know, identifier below this. I'm not really sure what this in particular corresponds to. But then you'll kind of see it jumps up to, like, 32, I believe that's 32DF, yeah. Then, like, 32EB, 3695, 3696, 3697. So if we, like, scroll down here, we can see, like, okay, so it's wraps and presents. What was that racket? I authorized your use. See the loose side, things are material, yada yada yada. So basically, we kind of want to find some sort of value that will correspond to, like, cutscene stuff, because you can replace that in a mod and no one's gonna notice because no one's watching cutscenes in mods, and if they are, but anyways, so here we see, like, oh, what a nice present. It's not about the box and the ribbons. So it's actually gonna be, like, fairly far above all this stuff. So let's do, like, let's just scroll up a bit through PS2 this. I'm just using page up to, like, skip around. So let's try, like, 17C7 and then 17C8, for instance. So for our pause one, we'll do, like, C8, 17, and then we'll do C7, 17. Then we'll replace this in our handy dandy bar editor again. Oh, by the way, I've been pressing Control S to just save quickly on this. Anyway, so we'll right click, replace, do the 0x02 string thing we just changed, save the mission file again, then we're gonna head back in. Almost Mr. Claus. Yeah, so that's definitely like a cutscene thing. We're gonna reel in the thief with Christmas presents as bait. Nice. So we'll type in almost Mr. Claus. We're gonna reel in the thief with Christmas presents as bait. Okay, so now we can just change this to whatever we want for this event. Like again, kill some spooky skeletons. Then for our pause thing, we can just do just put in whatever you want, you know, have some fun with it. So now I can replace this. We'd have to exit the world again, so we'll go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, we'll save state again. Yep, so there we go. That's how you manipulate the text strings. Just as a note, if you change the text strings around and the information in the pause starts saying fake in all caps or ID not found, you have entered a text string that does not exist in the current world bar file from the message folder, or you haven't entered one that corresponds to the system.bar, sys.bar, which is loaded in at the very start of the ISO booting and is not meant to ever change. It is worth noting that there are also specific boss AI in this game, or even, you know, some enemies like the mushrooms, for instance, that can call in their own text strings using these same bits of references, and you'd have to dig through their file to find that, but you could change what they reference to. So this sort of thing is what happens when you understand the game on the once you start playing by the game's fundamentals, you can just manipulate stuff around like that. Now, the final change we'll make to this this event is we can still see, like, these guys, you know, they can just kind of hold some of the presents. As you see, I picked one up there. So that's actually a thing that's in the ARD. So we're going back to the B99 here, and we'll see spawn group 1. You'll see here metal on these guys set to 1, which means they have an item corresponding to what's included in one of the other groups. So we'll just set that to 0 for these guys. Okay, and yeah, and then these guys don't have it, so... And then in spawn group 2, there's the prize box NM. I don't really know what you do with this at this point. You probably can just leave it. Like I showed in the previous tutorial, I always just replace these groups when I want to make like a generic defeat all enemies event. But we can save this ARD now. And we'll back out of this room thanks to our lovely save stating capabilities. By the way, save states are your best friend, which is why modding on PS2 is far superior to PC. One of the reasons anyways. Save states are your best friend. Alright, so once again, kill some spooky skeletons. You'll see now these guys don't have the metal thing. And if we kill them, they shouldn't drop any presents now. Yep, as you can see, no presents there because they no longer possess it. So yeah, that's that. We now have a generic kill all enemies event. And then if you wanted to replace the actual enemies themselves, you know, part 1 goes over that. But this is basically screwing with the mission file and getting results. I'm just comboing this guy with the sewer, that's funny. Alright, and that's mission file modding. Yeah, actually that just covers everything. Alright, hope you enjoyed this. There will be a part 3 that goes over rune transitions and, you know, setting up, like, just all that, and, like, cloning maps and all that, or adding new entries, all that stuff, but that's gonna be for another time. Hope you enjoyed this.